Hey, what's going on? Welcome to Relationshots, the place to get practical relationship advice that actually works in your relationship. So if you've not already downloaded our free guide to intimacy, you'll see a link in the description area below. All this is a guide to help you evaluate 4 key areas of intimacy in your relationship and give you some practical tips that you can apply today to begin reconnecting in those 4 areas. Go ahead and grab that. You'll see a link in the description area below. So today I want to jump in. I want to talk about something that's probably hurting, killing, disconnecting your relationship, and you're not even aware of the fact that you're doing it. Now, I've counseled thousands of couples at this point, and it never ceases to amaze me that I can hear each of their perspective about a specific situation, and from what they are sharing, I'm like, were you two in the same place at the same time, in the same conversation, in the same conflict? Because listen, it is objectively and factually impossible for both of your perceptions of what happened to be right? Like one is saying the car is red and the other is saying the car is blue, and it's impossible that both could be right. And so then you're kind of like, okay, one of these people is just flat out lying to me and I can't trust this person. But if you understand one thing, then this all makes complete sense. And that's the idea that our reality is much more about our perception than it is actual facts, which is why, if you understand that, then two people can have a completely different perspective on what happened and have different ideas on what happened in there. In fact, communication scholars say there's 2 levels of reality. There's first order reality, which is the observable facts about people, things, and situations. And then there's a second order reality, which is the meaning that we attach to those people, things, and situations. Let me give you an example. Let's say my wife was eating a bowl of something at the counter, and then she got up and went in the other room, and so I assumed she was done. So I took what was left, which wasn't a whole lot, and I put it in the trash, and then I washed the dish and put it in the dishwasher. And then she walks back in and starts unloading on me. And I'm like, I'm not sure what happened here. I thought I was doing something good. And her perspective is, well, you just think I'm fat and you thought I'd eaten enough and you were trying to control what I eat, and I'm a grown woman, I can control my own stuff. And so the reality is, first order reality, yes, I took the dish, I cleaned it out, and I put it in the dishwasher. Her second order reality was, I'm making some assumptions about her weight, I'm trying to control what she does and doesn't eat, when my reality was, I'm just trying to be helpful. So our second order reality, the meaning that we attach to the things our spouse does, will impact the relationship in one way. What I'm finding is that a lot of couples has nothing to do with your first order realities, the actual things that are happening in the relationship. It's actually the meaning that you're attaching to the things that your partner does or doesn't do, says or doesn't say, their body language, all of those things we are attaching meaning to. And oftentimes we're wrong and we're causing conflict where conflict doesn't need to be. We're causing disconnection where it doesn't need to be. We're causing tension where there is no reason to have tension. And many of us are getting stuck and disconnected in our relationships because we're not checking our perceptions. So if you want to have a good relationship, you've got to learn how to check your perceptions of what's going on against the reality of what's going on with the other person. So let me give you some examples of what this looks like. So if I were to show you some of these pictures, you would have some idea or perception about this person. Maybe this person is weird. Maybe this person has mental health issues. Maybe this person has a daughter who does ballet. Maybe this person is somehow now identifying as a woman, or whatever other perceptions you attach to this. The first order reality is, here's a grown man wearing a tutu in multiple places. We can all agree on those facts. What we attach to it, our perception of what's going on, is the second order reality, and we're going to attach all kinds of meanings based on our own biases, based on our own experiences, based on our own issues. But what if I told you that what's going on here is, this guy's name is Bob Carey. He's become famous probably about 10 years ago for what he did. He had a wife going through breast cancer, and in order to kind of lighten the mood, make her laugh, he started taking pictures of himself in a pink tutu on behalf of her in all these random places that he went, and it ended up becoming what's called the Tutu Project, and many people learned about this guy. Now that you know the second order reality for Bob, his meaning to the pink tutu, you now have a different perception of Bob than you would have had before you knew that story. And the same thing happens over and over and over again in your relationship and mine. And if you don't learn how to check this perspective, you're going to continue to have problems. For instance, your wife puts toothpaste on your toothbrush for you. The fact is she put toothpaste on there. A second order reality could be she's just another way she tries to control me. She thinks she's my mom. She may just be trying to help out, but we can attach a meaning. For instance, maybe your husband leaves the dishes in the sink and you assume that he's selfish, that he thinks it's your job, that he doesn't care about you. Your wife forgets your mom's birthday and doesn't get her a card. You make the assumption she hates your mom. She doesn't want to work on a relationship. She's just selfish and combative. Maybe your husband ends a call abruptly when he walks in the room or you come in the room. You assume he's being shady, he's doing something he shouldn't, he was getting off the call, when the reality might be he was trying to get off the call to honor the time you have together and not be disrespectful by being on the phone when he was with you. There are a number of things that can happen in your relationship that are a first order reality, but what's important is the meaning that you attach to it. You're talking to your spouse. They cross their arms. Now you're assuming they're defensive, they're not trying to listen to you, they might be cold. That might just be a position that is comfortable for them. And so what you need to do is you need to learn how to check your perceptions against your spouse's, your partner's reality if you're going to avoid that. And so how do we do that? Well, Dr. Tim Muehlhoff, who is a professor and author of the book I Beg to Differ, gives us a 3-step process to what he calls perception checking. And here's what it looks like. First, you provide a description of the behavior in question. Second, you offer 2 possible interpretations of the behavior. And then third, you ask for clarification of how to interpret it. So what that could look like, let's say you sit down to dinner with your partner and they're on their phone checking their phone. You have 2 options. You can start getting frustrated, assume they're just being rude, and start attacking them or passive-aggressively making a comment, or you can apply the 3 steps of perception checking and you can say something like, looks like you're texting on your phone. Is there something serious going on you need to attend to, or are you just bored with our time together? You're giving them 2 options. Now they may say, hey, it's a work thing and I've got to answer right away. Sorry about that, let me finish it up. Or I've got a friend who keeps texting me and there's something urgent and they need my help, which then you're able to say, well, why don't you take a couple minutes and do that? Now I don't need to be offended. You can wrap it up and we can have a good night. Or they may say, yeah, you know what, I'm just kind of bored, or you know what, I just don't have a lot of energy to engage right now. I'm kind of checked out mentally, and you can thank them for their honesty. Now, you may want to address this later so we don't end up in a situation like this again. You may also want to talk about how you feel about the fact that they're doing this, but it has now allowed you to, instead of making assumptions, drawing conclusions, and acting out of those, we're actually checking our perception against their reality so that we're not jumping to conclusions. If you want to have a healthy, connected relationship, you have got to get good at perception checking and not just assuming that you already know. So what you want to do is you want to be great at checking your perceptions and not assuming intentions of the other person. And if you do that, you'll maintain connection, you will avoid conflict, you will decrease tension in the relationship instead of attaching meaning to something that is incorrect and causing problems where there need to be no problem. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on this in the comment section below. Let me know. We're all guilty of this. So let me know some situations you do it, what you found that maybe helps you to avoid doing this. Let's have a discussion about it. If we can help you in any area of your relationship, you'll see a bunch of links in the description below. Maybe our communication course would be something that would help you effectively communicate if that's a problem for you. Check out the links below. And until next time, I'll see you right back here on Relationshots.